Hello, welcome to Game and Gain. My name is Muzz, and I ran my very own Hyrox event. And yeah, it's just kind of me telling you about it and how it kind of came about and the actual on the day of it. Yeah, the kind of the feedback I've got from it. So let me tell you, I could not be an event planner. Oh, I'll tell you that for free. I am not someone who gets stressed that easily, but on the day of the event, oh my word, it was stressful, and I definitely felt quite anxious going into it about the running of it, and obviously my kind of reputation is on the line. There's a lot of things that who kind of I was kind of catastrophizing in my head. So basically, the idea came about actually from someone else. So I done it within my school setting. So basically, someone else at another school done a kind of Hyrox event, and I had done one at my gym where I was working, and I was like, let's approach. So the owner is called Ross, and he is at Fly Gym in Glasgow. And I approached him, and it wasn't as if he was like, "Oh, I'm not sure." He was just like, "Yep, we'll make it work. Sounds fantastic. Really up for it. Was really enthusiastic for it." And throughout the process, he was just fantastic. Like, just never said would query stuff when we kind of got closer to it, but that's just to ensure that he was obviously it was his reputation on the line as well, his gym on the line. So he's wanted to make sure things were going well in terms of the organisation, and he was just a joy to work with. And I obviously go to that gym, so I know him quite well, and he's just a lovely, lovely individual. So if you're ever in Glasgow, go to Fly. I would thoroughly, thoroughly recommend it as a gym. But anyway, yeah. So I just kind of basically in my probation year, you've got to try and make yourself stand out, and I had done a lot. I had done a lot throughout the year, but I was like, I want something different. I want something unique that I can kind of hand my cap on and go, I done that this year when no one else did. So I sent an email out in February just kind of asking different schools if they'd be interested. Got a lot of positive feedback from it in terms of like wanting to do it, and they think it'd be a good event for the kids. So then it came down to kind of the format, and I think my initial idea was to have it more like a Hyrox in terms of like more strict to the actual event. What we ended up doing was more akin to the relay, but it was more like a teams workout that we actually do at the gym. So we had 4 team members in a team. It could be boys, girls, it could be boys and girls, and they would do 3 different styles of workout. So the Ross was very quick at getting the workout back to me. I sent it out to the schools in March. Now, this is what, so I've sent an email in February, sent an email in March. Bear that in mind, asking for who would like to come. So we agreed that there would be 20 teams just due to capacity. There would be 2 waves just because we couldn't have all 20 teams going at once. There wasn't enough space. So 10 in the first wave, 10 in the second wave. And we didn't really figure out, I think, how we would work the competition until the day. But basically, essentially, the teams that came like first, second, third, and fourth would all get points. Then we'd tally up the points, and we would have a winner. And initially, it was going to be a winner overall of the heats, but we ended up going with like heat 1 winner, heat 2 winner, and then they battled out against each other. So we're getting closer to it. You know, I've got the schools all lined up, ready to go. It's the day of the event. Let me tell you, try to get my team was an absolute nightmare. First off, I put it out to the school, didn't have many come back to me. I was like, what is going on? I was asking, you know, some of the ones that I would expect, and they were like, oh, we got to focus on football or something. So I was like, a bit disappointed with that. But I had 4 boys step up, and they stepped up, and they had fun. They enjoyed themselves. They didn't win it, but they had a good day out, and that is the main thing. But let me tell you, try to get them there. One of the kids, one of the boys, was still in bed 10 minutes before we were about to leave. I was like, can you get here in 10 minutes? And he did, to be fair to his folks. Anyway, so comes to the day of the event, we get there, I get there nice and early, set everything up, and I get an email from a school that is not on my list. So remember that email I sent back out in February, and then the one that I sent in March confirming the dates? I think the schools that so I had 2 schools turn up who weren't on my list, and I think they just put it in the calendar and were like, oh, we've put our interest down. Unbeknownst to them, and maybe they didn't read the email, I needed 20 teams to confirm, and they didn't confirm with me. So that was the big headache of the day. How are we going to fit these people in? And I had actually a school pull out that week, so it was a lot of like, oh, actually so glad that they did. I was a bit gutted that they pulled out because they had 2 teams, and I was like, that's a bit crap. But then we ended up having way more than what we needed. And it was a great success. I have received really good feedback from it. Obviously, there's going to be teething problems that we are actually trying to make it an annual event, and we're going to try and look at more of a competition. But the way the workouts work, so it was 3 workouts. You had the first one was like a kind of chipper workout where it was 150 on ski or row. 1,500, ski or row. Then they went into wall balls, 150 wall balls. And what else did they have to do? Burpees? No, I think it was just 150 wall balls. Yeah, I think it was. And then they had to do a 400 meter run. So that was the first workout. The second one was a kind of like a conga style workout. So it was like one person would do the first exercise, which was dumbbell clean and press, and then the second one was burpees. So they had to do 8 of each, and then they just kind of rotated round. So one would go, and they had to do that 3 times, 400 meter run, and off they went. And the final one was a tough one. Like I was like, oof, that is a tough workout. It was essentially a ladder. So they start off at 10 reps. They would do power snatches, which is where you have one dumbbell and you raise it above your head, and then you swap, and they would do that for 10, and then they would do 10 alternate lunges. Then they would go back to the power snatches, which are for 9, 9, 8, 8, 7, and they worked it all the way down. And it was, we had a few who were ill, they were sick after the first workout, but I think everyone seemed to kind of get it into their head that they need to relax and slow it down for the final 2 workouts. But yeah, as I said, overall really happy with how the event went. Received a lot of positive feedback from it. Myself, definitely looking at making it more, kind of thinking internally, giving myself kind of feedback from myself. Looking at the event, I definitely going to make sure I get the numbers right, or make sure the schools know that they're supposed to come. Making it more of a competition, so actually having stricter judges, because there was a few teams I was like, oh, you're out a bit early, you shouldn't be out that early. And I think once they saw one team go, they thought, oh, we could go. So definitely stricter judging, definitely like maybe a school like a teacher per station, and sort out the numbers, have like a girls' day, a boys' day, a mixed kind of day as well, just to kind of get more days into the calendar and give more kids the opportunity. But yeah, it was stressful, it was tough, it was a lot of time, but a lot of effort was put into it from myself and the team at Fly and Ross. But I think the feedback we've had has been really good, really, really great feedback from the PE teachers who were there. They have, I think, touched on some of the kind of constructive feedback that I've kind of given myself, and they recognise that as well. But they just loved the event, and they said the kids have really enjoyed it, and they actually want to know when the Fly workout is happening, like the workout. So there's actually going to be workouts over summer for the kids that Fly's putting on, which is really, really good. And yeah, it was just a really good event, and we're going to make it an annual thing, hopefully, which is pretty exciting. If I can kind of keep that going and have that as my event, it'll definitely do me good standing in the future to get a job. So yeah, just wanted to kind of come on here and talk to you about it. It was, as I said, I think something that I needed to do, I wanted to do. I kind of had grand ideas at the beginning of my term at the school I'm at, and that kind of died off. And then I was like, no, I need to do something big, and I'm glad I've done it. And like, it was worth all the blood, sweat, and tears that I put into it, figuratively speaking. But yeah, thank you for if you like the sound of this event, comment. I don't know you can comment down below. But if you have any ideas for how I can make it better, actually, definitely looking at better prizes, having like making it more serious in terms of like the judging. Get the numbers organised, definitely. But if you have any more ideas, definitely let me know down below for what you think I could do for the event. Yeah, with all that being said, all I have to say is any thoughts, comments, general hostile remarks, leave them below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.